I have my bowl of dough, okay, just came out of the refrigerator. All right, so you'll pull your dough out of your refrigerator. Here it is in all its glory. You want to let it come to room temperature. So that's basically going to be like a second rise. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this dough and we're going to take a baking sheet. You can flour the baking sheet. You can spray it with some olive oil. You can use parchment paper, whatever you would like. I'm not going to use parchment paper for this. I'm going to just use a little bit of flour. Okay, I'm just going to flour it. And we're going to carefully transfer this dough to the baking sheet. Okay, we don't want to deflate it too much because it has all of this air in it that the yeast made. So I'm just going to kind of ease it out a little bit. Whoop, place it on my baking sheet and just lightly shape it. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of shape it up. Okay, just like that. This now has to sit for an hour before I do anything else to it, okay? I'm gonna leave it in a warm spot. So since it is a warm day, a lot of our homes or apartments are gonna be warm to begin with. I also sometimes will leave it on top of my oven. After an hour, you're gonna preheat your oven to, I believe it's 450, is that correct? Yeah. So you'll preheat your oven to 450 degrees after an hour, and I'll show you what you're going to do. So this is a loaf of bread that has been resting for an hour, okay? I want to show you actually the size comparison to show you how much it's going to rise still, okay? Do you see the difference? So not only is this one that's been out of the refrigerator, this has actually been out for about 2 hours, okay? And this one is a little bit smaller. The one that's been out of the refrigerator is also a lot smoother than the one that just came out. Okay, so I'm gonna set this one back aside. Again, that's gonna sit for at least an hour, probably more. So I'm gonna switch here. I have my cookie sheet. And I have my bread that's on the parchment paper. I'm going to pick it up and move it onto my pan, okay? For this other loaf of bread, I'm not going to have to do that because it's already on there, okay? I'm going to take a little bit of flour. I'm going to sprinkle it on top, okay, just like that.
What's the measurement for the flour?
I didn't measure it. I just like sprinkled a little bit. You just want to coat it. It's a light coating.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can take a sharp knife. Be careful, please. You can take like an X-Acto knife. I have it's the actual technical tool that you use for this called the lame. And you can carve a little design in your bread. There's a few purposes for this. It helps control where the air escapes while it's baking. It also used to serve a practical purpose when there was like large dinners, you know, community style dinners. Every family had their own design that they would carve into their bread, and so it would help kind of tell like which bread came from which family, which is a little kind of neat. So you can carve whatever design you want. I've never been good with that, ever, but there you go. So we're going to travel over here with me, and I'm going to describe to you what's next. Okay, so the next step might sound a little confusing about adding the water. It's not too bad. You're going to take a cup of water, okay, and then in your oven, I'm going to open my oven so you can see what's going on in here. So in my oven, I have a lower rack, okay, a lowest most rack in my oven. And on that baking rack is a cookie sheet, a pan. You can put a cast iron pan, anything as long as it has sides to it. And then I have another rack that's right above it. Okay, so here that is. My bread is going to go on this rack. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. My bread goes on that rack. There we go. And then on this bottommost rack, okay, with the tray, I'm gonna add my water. Woo, and it sizzles. Cool. And then I am gonna close my oven carefully so the water doesn't spill out. Okay. What that's doing is it is helping to form the crust. I was reading up on it. There's a whole bunch of different theories. When I did it before, so I have a loaf that already got baked. Okay, so here it is. This is the color you're looking for when it comes out of the oven. Nice and brown. Okay, it's a really nice color. But I just want to show you the bottom of it is a little soft. So what I would like you all to do is, this is going to bake for 25 to 35 minutes. At 15 minutes, so you set your timer for 15 minutes, you take that pan of water out of the oven, and that's going to prevent this softness from happening. Okay, the water helps with the rise, supposedly. This one didn't rise too much, so it's a little bit of a flatbread situation. Bread is finicky. I don't pretend to be an expert on bread. I can pretend my way through it, and it'll still taste good, but I haven't been able to get that like picture perfect loaf. So I hope that yours comes out really nice and it still tastes really yummy, and you take pictures and send it to us.